Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day's a great day. Not to be in a cult. All right, let me make sure I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let me make sure I've got my Signal app closed down. Bada bing, bada boom. We're ready to rock. How you doing, guys? Happy Saturday. I guess I did a live Q&A video from California about 5 days ago. And oh, yes, I see green. You guys noticing my new color scheme? Yeah, I'm trying to mix up the colors again, you guys. I was looking at some of my old videos from back in the good old days, and I noticed. Actually, I was looking at one of my videos this morning from when I was out in LA covering the Danny Masterson trial, and I was kind of like cracking up looking at how low tech my setup was. You know, I remember I was like doing everything from my computer. Like I literally had all the lights in the hotel room off, and I had like one light shining on me, and I had my computer stacked up on a bunch of boxes, and I had like the microphone right here. And I was like, wow, it's pretty. And I was wearing the green shirt, and it was dark, and it was a blue background. And I was like, if I tried that right now, would it clash with the sign? So anyway, just mixing it up a little bit here, you guys, just mixing it up a little bit. And I'll tell you what made me decide to jump on it and do another Q&A today. I have been going into like video preparation overwhelm recently. I don't know what's gotten into me. It used to be so easy for me to get a video idea, be like, boom. I was like struck with a lightning bolt of inspiration, sit down, do a quick little prep, get my screen shares ready, get my talking points ready, and like, bam. And I don't know, it's like I'm getting into, what is it? A paralysis by analysis. Every time I think of a video idea, I add it to my list of video ideas. And the list is like, I mean, it's gotta be like 100, it's gotta be like 100 items on my list. But then I'm like, okay, which one of these am I most excited about? And which one of these is gonna take the most preparation? And how many of these am I gonna get done today? And I spend so much time analyzing and thinking about everything that I end up getting none of it done. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do a Q&A video and a Hangout video because that's easier to do and it doesn't involve a lot of preparation. And then you know what occurred to me? I can marry these two worlds together. Instead of doing a Q&A video that's literally just me answering questions, I can do a video where I sort of hang out with you guys a little more casually and actually discuss with you guys the things that I would otherwise be sitting here trying to prepare to do videos about. And so this is going to be like kind of marrying, merging two worlds together. I'll do this will be a bit of a Q&A. Actually, I don't know where Georgie is. I don't have George in the back office starring questions for me. Marilyn, if you want to jump in the back office, please feel free. But if I see your questions, we'll do a bit of a Q&A. But I also want to hit a bunch of topics with you guys that I want to discuss and I want to share with you guys. And maybe I'll go back through it and break out some of these segments as standalone videos. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's so much for us to cover. So much for us to cover. And one thing that I'm really late on covering is Mark Bunker's campaign kicking off for the Clearwater City Council. Guys, this is going to be so juicy and spicy this campaign season. Juicy and spicy. That should be his campaign tagline. Mark Bunker for Clearwater City Council. Juicy and spicy. As I was getting ready for this video, for this video that we're doing here right now, I actually looked up Mark Bunker's video that he published to kick off his campaign, and I realized I hadn't even watched the whole thing myself. And when I started watching it, a lot of things that I've been hearing started to make sense to me. Because let me tell you something: the powers that be, the political powers that be in the Republican establishment are furious with Mark Bunker's video. Shall we watch it together? Let me pop in my earpiece, and just to make sure that I don't forget, I'm gonna immediately post the link to the page where anyone in the United States, any U.S. citizen and anyone in the United States can donate to Mark Bunker's campaign. It is not true. Don't listen to the idiots out there that have tried to say only people who live in Florida can donate or only people who live in Clearwater can donate. Especially don't listen to the idiots that have told you that if you live outside of Florida and you want to support Mark Bunker's campaign, send him a Venmo or a PayPal. Don't do that. That's campaign finance fraud. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to send Mark Bunker money personally, feel free to send Mark Bunker personally. Do not send money to Mark Bunker personally to support his campaign. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay. I have just in the live chat posted the link to Mark Bunker's donation page. We're going to be, guys, I just want to say from the outset here, Mark Bunker has a very tough hill to climb to win this election. The Republican establishment, and I say that because the Republican establishment does control local politics here in Clearwater, Florida, is very, very, very heavily financed by Scientologist billionaire Trish Duggan. Okay. And Trish Duggan financially supports Republican politician Anna Paulina Luna. She's actually our congressional representative. And Anna Paulina Luna's staff member, Sam Wilson, I hope I'm getting his name right, is running against Mark Bunker. Anyway, you know what? Without giving too much of a preamble here, let's just watch the video. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Share this tab instead. Yes, please. All right, let's just watch the video, guys, and then we'll come back to my thoughts. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Mark Bunker. I served on the Clearwater City Council from 2020 to 2024. And many of you here in Clearwater voted for me because I was willing to stand up to Scientology and its leader, David Miscavige. And I've been doing that for 30 years. Miscavige says he wants to be a partner to the city, but he has repeatedly stabbed us in the back. In 2017, for example, he sabotaged the aquarium's plan to move downtown, which was our best hope for revitalizing the area. And then Miscavige had the gall to demand that property for himself. And when he didn't get it, that's when he stabbed us in the back. He cut off all communications with the city and then started secretly buying all the available downtown property at 2, 4, or even 6 times the market value, all in cash, purposely keeping those buildings empty for years to hold our downtown hostage. And this scheme was discovered by the Tampa Bay Times several years later. And when it happened, Miscavige lied about having any connection to it, only to later confess that this was his grand plan all along. You should care about who is on the city council, because Miscavige certainly does. If the current council doesn't do his bidding, he says, all right, I'll wait for the next council. Well, in 2020, he got me, an outspoken critic, unafraid to take him on. My mantra was always, in any deal with Miscavige, he had to come through first with his part of the bargain. And when I ran in 2020, people thought I only cared about Scientology. But the truth is, I care about Clearwater. In my 4 years on the council, I proved that I was more than just an outspoken critic of Scientology. I showed that I cared about public safety, affordable living, making sure students were safe, going to and from school. And in those 4 years, more of you started to understand that. And after my first term, I was proud to receive the endorsement of both the Clearwater Fraternity of Police and the Clearwater Firefighters, which meant the world to me. I also had the support of actress Leah Remini. So, who's running against me? A young man named Sam Wilson, with connections to some of the biggest names in Florida politics, with the deepest pockets. Oh, and Scientologists are giddy with excitement at the thought of him being on the council. And that should tell you everything you need to know. We cannot allow David Miscavige to have complete control of the city council. Not now, not ever. And this is going to be a tough battle. A lot of money is going to be thrown at this race, especially with 2 candidates backed by the deep pockets of the Good Old Boys Network and Miss Cabbage. I ask you for your support in this race. I do think this is a crucial election for the city, and as tough as this race is going to be, we can and we will win. And we can stop this Scientology takeover of Clearwater.
Fantastic stuff. Really fantastic stuff. I've heard through the grapevine locally that Sam Wilson and his supporters are furious that Mark Bunker is trying to link him to Scientology. Guys, it's not Mark Bunker who's linking Sam Wilson to Scientology. It is the Scientologists who are linking Sam Wilson to Scientology. It is the Scientologists who are being told to vote for Sam Wilson. Sam, if you want to know why all the Scientologists are being told to vote for you, first of all, it is literally impossible for me to believe that you don't know, because they wouldn't be being told to vote for you if they didn't have a reason to support you, and they wouldn't have chosen, they have a reason to support you without your knowledge. Like, it's just literally not possible for you to not know why all the Scientologists are being told to vote for you. But I'll opine on it. I'll give you my opinion. Trish Duggan, the billionaire Scientologist, is one of the largest financial donors to the Republican Party, the current administration, the Florida Attorney General. I don't have specific information about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a financial supporter of our congressional representative, Anna Paulina Luna. And Anna Paulina Luna is endorsing Sam Wilson for Clearwater City Council. Okay. Trish Duggan doesn't donate millions of dollars to all of these Republican political action committees and Republican lawmakers without a little bit of a quid pro quo. Now, I'm using that term colloquially, not legally. You know, when you make big donations, you expect to be treated with a certain amount of respect. You expect to have people take your calls. You expect to have people do you favors, which is why Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier unprecedentedly intervened into a dispute between the city of Clearwater and the Church of Scientology. I don't want to get too long-winded about this or get too far into the weeds, but the fact that Anna Paulina Luna, who's funded by Scientologist billionaire Trish Duggan, is endorsing Sam Wilson for Clearwater City Council, and that all of the Scientologists in Clearwater are being told by the leading Scientologists in Clearwater to vote for Sam Wilson. Sam, stop crying about being linked to Scientology. If you don't want to be linked to Scientology, use your words to unlink yourself to Scientology. And, you know, the fact that you have chosen to directly run against Mark Bunker, okay, who's already been on the city council, who's already a well-known advocate for standing up to Scientology fraud and abuse and the sabotage of downtown Clearwater. You don't have to run against Mark Bunker. You could just endorse Mark Bunker. You know, maybe it's because you're a Republican and Mark Bunker isn't, that you're like, it cannot stand. We cannot have Mark Bunker. You're not going to out anti-Scientology Mark Bunker. Okay. Now, I saw a comment that I starred because I accidentally said something incorrect about all of this in my protest live stream yesterday, and I'm looking for it. It was okay. Constance is repeating here something I said yesterday, but I got it wrong, and so I want to correct this. Sam Wilson is running for Lena Teixeira's old seat. Sam Wilson is an Anna Paulina Luna staffer. I got this wrong. Sam Wilson is running directly against Mark Bunker. It is actually Chris Latvala's wife who is running, to the best of my understanding, for Lena Teixeira's old seat. And so, this whole video is not going to be a Clearwater City Council video, but I got to tell you, I am so sick and tired of local politicians. Yeah, Mark Bunker, there you are, Mark. Yeah, Sam, endorse Mark Bunker. I am so sick and tired of local politicians crying about being linked to Scientology when they themselves are the ones who could resolve the problem they're crying about. Go ahead and unlink yourself, Sam. I dare you. I dare you to unlink yourself to Scientology. You won't do it. Okay, because you guys all talk a really strong game behind closed doors, when no one's listening. Oh, yeah, I stood up to Scientology. I once told David Miscavige what I really thought about him. But then you get on the council and you forward Scientology's agenda. Just look at Ryan Cotton. Just look at Michael Menino. These guys are working for Scientology. These guys are forwarding David Miscavige's agenda. These guys are attacking people who are trying to stand up to Scientology. Ryan Cotton and Michael Menino are two people who would have had you believe that they were firmly with the citizens of Clearwater, not with David Miscavige. And then once they got into office, they instantly started forwarding David Miscavige's agenda. So we don't have any patience or tolerance for you local politicians who want to cry when ex-Scientologists and very well-known and seasoned anti-Scientology activists, call you out for looking like a duck and walking like a duck. It's like, do it yourself. Stop crying about what we're saying and start doing something effective, because we are not going to stop linking you to Scientology, because you are linked to Scientology. Go ahead and explain to the people of Clearwater why you chose you needed to run against Mark Bunker. It's insane. Why don't you go ahead and run against Chris Litvala's wife? You're not going to do that, are you? You're not going to do that, are you? No. So anyway, I put the link to Mark Bunker's donation page for his campaign in the live chat. I will also pin it in a comment down below. And let me put this out there, because here's what I want to do. We want to have a lot of fun with this. The stage of the campaign that Mark's in right now, anyone who's running for Clearwater City Council has to get 250 signed petition cards from registered Clearwater voters in order to officially have their name on the ballot. So once the campaign officially starts, which it has already started, essentially what a candidate is allowed to do is they're allowed to start raising money right away, and they can start getting their petition cards signed. Once they have enough petition cards signed, they turn them into the city. The city verifies the signatures against the registered, the voter registration cards. They usually choose to throw away any signature that doesn't match closely enough. So what we want to do, we want to, I'm putting this out there myself. I want to invite all Clearwater citizens who are registered to vote and want to come down and sign petition cards for Mark Bunker, and come out and join us every Friday afternoon at our weekly Scientology protest in downtown Clearwater. I'm going to get about 100 blank signature cards for Mark Bunker, and we're going to have the signature cards with us. We'll have some at Target 1. We'll have some at Target 2. And it'll be a fun way to invite and entice people to come down and briefly join us and say hi at the protest. Come down and say hi. I know you guys have been wanting to. Come down and say hi. Sign a petition card for Mark, and we'll help him get these cards signed. Usually these cards are signed by knocking on doors and going door to door. That takes time. It is very time consuming. It's much more fun to have you guys come down and say hi to us and sign the cards than for us to go door knocking. I'm sure there's a bunch of people going door knocking as well, but I want to incorporate helping Mark with his campaign also into our weekly Scientology protest. And you know what would be fun? Mark, come on out and join us. We'll get you a nice shaded area. We'll set you up with some cold drinks and a chair so you're comfortable. Come on out and join us. Let's get these signature cards signed. Let's raise a ton of money. All right, let's see. Mark Bunker says, here's something that Sam can do. Ask Anna Paulina Luna to take action at a federal level and revoke Scientology's tax exemption. At the very least, start taxing auditing courses and book sales. Absolutely. But, it's like Anna Paulina Luna is funded by Scientologist Trish Duggan. Oh, see, I got it wrong. Thank you for correcting me, Mark. No, I am running for Lena to. Oh, no. Put it back up. Where'd it go? I am running for Lena Teixeira's seat. Bianca is running for Albritton's seat. Okay. But Sam is running against you, right, Mark? I hope I got at least one piece of this right. Anyway, it's kind of a big deal. This is a really big deal. It was a really big deal. Oh, you know what? The other thing, since we're not in a rush and we got nowhere to be, I want to explain why it is a tough hill that we're climbing in this race. Because remember, Mark won his first election, lost his second election. And it is because the Clearwater political establishment was very unhappy that Mark won. And they have literally changed the laws to make it, what they believe, almost impossible for him to win again. They really decided that they needed to make sure that the person with the most money was always going to be able to win. And here's what I mean. When Mark Bunker ran his first campaign, It was the first time ever in Clearwater's history that 5 candidates ran for the same seat. That's the way it works here. You have to pick which of the 5 seats you're running for. It was the first time ever that 5 people ran for the same seat. In other words, it was the first time ever that the vote was going to get split 5 ways. And I forget how many people total voted in that election, Mark, but it was somewhere between 5 and 10,000 people voted in the election. And Mark won by like 200 votes. And what that means is that if it had been a 4-way race instead of a 5-way race, Mark would have lost. And Mark was an unknown quantity, really, to the people of Clearwater the first time that he ran. And the political establishment, the Republican political establishment, was absolutely furious that a newbie, an outsider, someone who wasn't one of them, won this election. And they said, never again, never again. And they changed the law. And they said, you are no longer allowed to win an election with less than half of the vote, right? So we can say, I mean, I know this isn't going to be an accurate number, but we can roughly say that Mark was able to win with, well, if 5 people were running and he won by 200 votes, I don't know, 20% of the vote, they're like, nope, never again are we going to allow anyone to win an election with less than 50% of the vote. So anyway, they changed it so that if you've got a bunch of people running and nobody gets 50% of the vote, that it goes to a runoff. It goes to a runoff, just like it is in the national election, right? Or whatever. It goes to a runoff. And that means you're essentially now having to run 2 campaigns instead of 1. You're having to raise money twice instead of once. And the way it works here in Clearwater, Florida is these large, heavily funded political action committees out of Tallahassee can spend an unlimited amount of money promoting a Clearwater City Council candidate. Mark's not being supported by any PACs. You know who is? Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson will potentially receive millions of dollars of financial support from these political action committees run out of Tallahassee and funded by people like Trish Duggan. And that's what they're counting on. So it's a very tough hill that we have to climb here. We're likely going to have to basically run, fund, help with essentially 2 campaigns, 2 elections. Okay. So, and so, I don't know how many people are running for Mark Bunker's seat. I think I'm not sure if we've already passed have we already passed the deadline for people to file? If Mark finishes in the top 2 of the people running for his seat, then the top 2 people go into the runoff. And it's basically, you start over. You basically start completely over. Okay, Mark says, the entire Republican power structure is backing Sam and will be working hard for him and showering him with donations as he claims to be the underdog. Yeah, so anyway, this is what's happening, guys. This is why we're going to be relentless in raising money for Mark from all across the country. And David Miscavige already has 2 people on the city council working for him. Ryan Cotton, Michael Menino. If they get Sam Wilson, David Miscavige controls the majority of the Clearwater City Council. We cannot let that happen. Sam Wilson, you want to have some integrity? You want to have some principles? Go ahead and endorse Mark Bunker. Go ahead and at the last moment, drop out of the campaign and throw your full support behind Mark Bunker. That's the only time I'm going to stop calling you a Scientology operative. You know what I'm saying? Mark says the green shirt does look great. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. Okay. That's enough about Clearwater City Council business. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, I mean, and speaking of having fun protesting, you guys, I'm going to be spending about a week or 2 weeks every month out in California. And Jenna's going to, the way we're planning it right now is I'll spend a week or 2 every month out in California. Jenna will spend about a week a month out here in Clearwater. And, we really want to create a fun, vibrant, feel good, inclusive protest movement out in Los Angeles, the way that we've been able to do in Clearwater, Florida. And what Jenna and I are planning on doing right now is, because Jenna lives closer to San Diego, Los Angeles is a relatively short drive. What we'd like to do is at least once a month, go up to Hollywood, go up to the Test Center on Hollywood Boulevard and do our own regular SPTV anti-Scientology protest right there outside the test center. We're going to get our signs. I'm going to get a Tom Cruise cutout. Tom Cruise is a bi-coastal anti-Scientology protester. And, we're going to bring back the feel-good, cooperative, collaborative, helpful days of the SPTV movement and the protests. Before squatty shit bucket McGillicuddy decided destroying the protest movement by turning people against each other. And I'm just asking questions. We're going to bring back the golden days of the protest movement. I feel like we've just really knocked it out of the park here in Clearwater. Every week when you guys tune in, you see the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of local residents who come out to support our protests, who are happy to see us, who love what we do, who come out and say hi, who drive by and honk, or shouting out the window, love what you do, watch all your stuff. Let's get the party kickstarted in Los Angeles as well. Give me and Jenna a great opportunity to reconnect with Streets and Jess, back in the good old days, guys, back when people weren't so fixated on hate and destruction and criticism and one-upsmanship and victimhood and wah. It's time to knock all that shit off and get back to what matters. So wanted to throw that back out there. And speaking of which, I wanted to plug a very fun but also valuable video that Jenna put up on her YouTube channel this week. We're talking, of course, about the lovely, the wonderful, the beautiful Jenna Miscavige. She put up a video, my relationship drama. What's that? A bathtub photo? Ooh, spicy, hot and spicy. That was fun. Me and Jenna want to be able to get back to doing videos together. We have a lot of fun doing videos together. I did a video about a month ago talking about me and Jenna and everything that's happened and where things are at right now and what the future looks like. And then Jenna put up that video a day or two ago, and yeah, we're ready to move on, you guys. We're ready to move on to the bright and beautiful and fun future that feels a lot more like the bright and fun past that everybody came to know and love in the early days of the SPTV movement. And yeah, guys. Yeah. And speaking of the bright future, my second trial, okay, the second shellacking that the state of Florida and Scientology is going to receive from SPTV is on April 14th, Clearwater, Florida, Pinellas County Criminal Justice Center. Come one, come all. Let's pack the courtroom. If you guys thought that the state of Florida and Scientology got their asses handed to them on March 3rd, just wait to see the ass beating that they get on April 14th. Because you know what's going to happen on April 15th. We're going to have the biggest goddamn protest party outside of the Flag Building in downtown Clearwater that you've ever seen. I mean, you guys have never seen so much chalk in your life, okay? You've never seen so much chalk in your life, all right? I'm going to get everyone a Smurfed his ass t-shirts. We are going to have so much fun. All right, let's see. What else we got? Oh, I mean, one of the biggest updates that's going to happen soon is my official response that I'll be filing on Monday to Liz Gale's lawsuit that she filed against me. Guys, just imagine the stupidity, the hypocrisy, the insanity of Liz Gale, right? Liz Gale and her friend, the nutcase of the internet. I'm not even going to do her the privilege of saying her name. That's the new thing I'm going to do. I'm not even going to say the name of the ex-Scientologist #1 nutcase and ethics officer on the internet. Not even going to say her name. She can decide that I'm talking about her. The hundreds of hours of slanderous defamation that Liz Gale and the nutcase of the internet have levied against me, my foundation, in over and over, just the horrific lies about me, lies about the foundation. And I say one inaccurate thing one time about Liz Gale's husband, and she files a lawsuit against me. Liz, I don't want to hear the bullshit. It's not my lawsuit. It's my husband's lawsuit. Your husband wouldn't even know what the hell was going on if you weren't sharing him information and asking him to do things. It's absolutely insane. By the way, my response to Liz Gale's lawsuit, and the reason I'm talking about all this, guys, is because once I file the response, the internet's #1 nutcase is just going to do a video about it anyway. So there's no reason for me not to talk about it. There's no reason for me not to do a video about it. Once I file my response, I will do a video about it, because why not? Someone else is already going to do it anyway. It's not even going to be a response. It's going to be a motion to dismiss. Here's what Liz Gale doesn't understand, okay? Before she got her husband to file this lawsuit against me, I didn't even know what her husband's name was, honestly. I did not even know what his name was. I did not even know what he looked like. I did not know where they lived. This is one of the biggest examples of the Streisand effect I could possibly imagine. Okay. Here's what Liz doesn't understand. Not only did I not know what her husband's name was or even what he looked like, I therefore never even identified him as anything. And Liz thinks that because her husband has never appeared in any videos with her or does any of his own videos, that he's not a public person. Here's what you don't understand. You're a public couple. You're a public couple. You're a public person, and you talk about your husband, okay? I identified your husband the way you identified your husband, as your husband. Okay? I said Liz Gale's husband was accused of rape. Now, I had that detail wrong. He was accused of stalking. I got the detail wrong. When I said what I said, I believed that what I said was accurate. And I have all the evidence in the world to prove how and why I believed at the time that what I said was accurate. Here's the important thing. I didn't say her husband raped someone. I said someone accused her husband of raping someone. Any lunatic can accuse anyone of anything. Saying that someone was accused of something does not mean it happened. In the same video where I said he was accused of this, I also said that Liz and her husband went to the police station to find out if any actual report had been filed by this person. And the answer was no. No such report had ever been filed with the police by this person or anyone else. Okay. And so not only did I not accuse him of a thing, I accused him of having been accused of a thing. I then followed up by saying there was literally no police report or evidence that this thing had actually occurred. And then later, when I found out that my statement was incorrect, I corrected the record in another video. This whole thing is just going to get thrown out. And this whole thing is honestly, Liz, you couldn't have shot yourself in the foot or the face any more than you did. You've shown yourself to be a destructive, lying, drama-obsessed person. You've shown yourself to be in cahoots with your friend, the nutcase of the internet. You know, you've shown yourself to be someone who will, there's literally no depths to which you will not stoop. And it's like, you know, you want to get into discovery, Liz? Okay, so let's get into discovery. Let's get into the details, Liz. Exactly how many women has your husband cheated on you with? Like, this is what you want to do? Like, I said one inaccurate thing about your husband one time in one video. After the hundreds and hundreds of hours of slander and defamation that you and Nora have levied at me, and you want to file a lawsuit? You want to file a lawsuit after you were here as a guest in my house telling everyone in Clearwater how you were going to leave your husband, you were going to divorce him, he cheated on you over and over again. And it's like, this is what, like, you realize that once it's a lawsuit, it's all in the public record. It's all in the public record. Okay, this is what you want to do. You know, you guys have been making a circus out of my life, my private life, my family situation, my relationship status. You and Nora trying to dig up, constantly reporting on, has he filed for divorce yet? Has he not filed for divorce yet? You guys trying to drag me and Jenna Miscavige through the mud. You guys are disgusting, destructive people. You're obsessed. You guys are the malignant narcissists that you keep accusing everyone else of being. And honestly, Liz, you know, you picked this fight and you're going to start the fight and I'm going to finish it. And it's going to be all for nothing. You're going to get nothing. The lawsuit's going to get thrown out. You're going to be publicly humiliated. Your husband's going to be publicly humiliated. And you did it to yourself. You did it. I mean, I can't believe it. This stupidity. You're so fucking stupid. I can't even believe it. So you guys stay tuned for that video. By the way, that video will be a members only video. So my response to Liz Gale's lawsuit is due this Monday. I will file it on Monday. After I file it on Monday, I will do a members only video about it. And the only reason I'm mentioning it now in a non-members video is because we're already 35 minutes into this video. And if you're already 35 minutes into my Q&A video, you're all keep it, because remember guys, my strategy for putting stuff behind members only is videos. I don't want people coming to my channel for the first time to have that be their introduction to my channel. But if you're already 35 minutes into this Q&A video, me talking about this shit is not your first introduction to this channel. So on Monday, when I file my motion to dismiss, I'll do a members only video covering everything. So if you haven't snapped up a channel membership, please do that and you'll be able to see that. I'll open that up to all channel member levels. Oh, a little bit more drama. Oh, this is fun, you guys. This one is super, super, super fun. I don't have the actual screenshots of this to share with you, but I want to use this as a demonstration. Sorry, my chair's getting a little uncomfortable. A perfect example of the kind of shenanigans that Scientology's Office of Special Affairs tries to pull in the ex-Scientology activist community to try to create trouble between people, to try to get people to fight with each other, to sow division, dissension, and all this kind of stuff. You guys all know my near and dear friend, Jen Kessler. I think she's probably in the live chat. Jen Kess, she's one of my moderators. She's one of my dear friends. And so at my trial on March 3rd, there was an incident that occurred where one of these, absolute disgusting bottom feeding trolls who pretends to be a reporter, but is real just a giant piece of shit. I'm not even going to do him the favor of saying his name either, but if you know, you know, and if you don't know, it's okay. He's not worth knowing. He showed up to my trial just to be a shit stirrer and a bottom feeder and a fucking scumbag. And so at lunchtime, a bunch of my friends and supporters went out to lunch at Cracker Barrel. And this guy who couldn't even afford a rental car, but somehow could afford to fly all the way here to Clearwater just to cover a trial he wasn't welcome at. He walked 1.5 miles to the Cracker Barrel just to sit there and smoke a cigarette right outside the window where all my friends were eating. And so some of them took offense to this and went out and confronted him. And a lot has been made of all of this. Now, Jen Kessler, she took a different approach in the courtroom with this scumbag. To her credit, she's like, let me be as nice as possible to this piece of shit, and let me give him the benefit of the doubt, and let me kill him with kindness and everything, and because honestly, that's what Jen does with everyone. That's kind of how Jen is, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. And there's also nothing wrong with people calling out this scumbag for being the piece of shit that he is. But I want to share with you guys. Let me pull this up. Hold on, let me see. If you want to text us anything about it, that's fine. Nothing. Okay, good. Yeah. I want to read to you, and this is paraphrased. Some anonymous person digs up Jen Kessler's cell phone number and sends her a text message that is very similar to the kind of emails that a lot of us receive. Now, are these emails actually from the Office of Special Affairs? Are these emails and text messages actually from the Office of Special Affairs? Are they from the nutcase, the internet's #1 ex-Scientologist nutcase? Are they from the deranged lunatics that support the ex-Scientology's #1, the ex-Scientologists' #1 nutcase on the internet? Who knows? The fact is that the result is the same. People just trying to stir up crap between people who are in tight-knit supportive communities. All right, let me find this. Okay. Jen Kessler gets a text message from an anonymous phone number. She has no idea who this person is, okay? Basically saying, Aaron and Jenna are not the friends that you think they are. They secretly don't actually want to be around you at all because Jenna and Aaron feel like you're just playing both sides. And they're very angry that you didn't yell and scream at that scumbag at the Cracker Barrel the way everyone else did. And you should know what Aaron and Jenna really think about you. Now, first of all, my friends didn't yell and scream at that scumbag. They treated him exactly the way he deserved to be treated. They confronted him. And so you know what I said to Jen? I said, congratulations, Jen. You've officially been baptized as an honest to God SP. Because somehow up until now, Jen has never received or been copied on these emails that so many of us in the ex-Scientology community, particularly the people who are on YouTube, so often I will get an email copied to like 20 people. That's really nothing but like, oh my God, person A, you're not going to believe what person B is secretly saying about you. And person C, person D secretly hates your guts. And person E, I think you're the best and no one can shine a light to you and they're all jealous of you. Like the amount of emails I get, like even sometimes to me, copied to like 20 or 30 people. Aaron, you're the greatest and everyone's so jealous of you. And that's why they hate you so much. And they're just this and they're just that. Like it's nothing but shit stirring. Now, the way I respond to these emails is I go, delete. The way that the internet's #1 ex-Scientologist nutcase responds to these emails is usually to immediately go live and be like, you guys, you're not going to believe what I just got from OSA, and I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for your tricks. But what I am going to do is read the entire fucking email out to my entire audience and rebroadcast all of the hateful bullshit that OSA is trying to spread around in the community. Yeah, good job, nutcase. Yeah, counteract their tactics by rebroadcasting the bullshit they're trying to say about everyone. God, you're such a fucking idiot. But anyway, so, Jen had never been received the honor of having been included in a lot of these intentionally hateful shit stirring emails, but she now has the honor of receiving these text messages. Now, was this text message sent from a burner phone by ex-Scientology's #1 nutcase on the internet? Probably. That's what I think is probably what happens. Remember, ex-Scientology's #1 nutcase got on the phone and called Cracker Barrel. Okay, when certain people were interacting with each other at Cracker Barrel, the internet's #1 nutcase got on the phone and called Cracker Barrel, and then when she finished talking to Cracker Barrel, she got on the phone and called the sheriff's deputies working at the courthouse. Like there is no level to which the internet's #1 nutcase will not stoop to involve herself into the business of other people and to try to be the police officer and the ethics officer of all ex-Scientologists and their friends on the internet. Was it her? Probably her. Could it have been one of her supporters? Of course it could have been. Could it literally be the Office of Special Affairs? Yes, of course it could have been. The fact that it's actually impossible to distinguish between the activities of the Office of Special Affairs and the internet's #1 nutcase and her lunatic supporters pretty much tells you all you need to know. Some of us here in this so-called community would pretty much like to get on with just exposing Scientology and focusing on that. It's a little hard to do that when you have the internet's #1 nutcase constantly just trying to do OSA's job for them instead. But that's okay. That's okay, guys. We're gonna keep moving on and everything. Okay, let's see. Looking at some of my messages. So there you go, Jen. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. It's a small club, and now you're in it. Okay, let's see. Talked about that. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Do I really want to talk about? I guess the other exciting thing that happened recently is, you guys will remember, look, back in the good old days of the SPTV protest movement, the LA scene was hip hop and happening. The LA scene is where it all started. It all started with Streets LA and Jessica Palmadessa. And then we had an amazing cast of characters like Confident Chris. And I am going to, unfortunately, go hugely blank. Guys, hit me in the live chat with some of the names of the original OG anti-Scientology protesters of the last couple of years. Anyway, while I look for those names, you guys remember, once this one guy, I'll say his name, Scott Hochstetter. Once Scott Hochstetter showed up on the scene, he very, very shortly thereafter decided to do in our protest community what he has done in other protest communities, which is I'm here. Oh yeah, Chris without a Hellcat. Thank you guys. Chris without a Hellcat. And dun, 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 dun. Cam, that's right. Cam, absolutely. He was a rock star. Denver. What was the guy in Denver? Damn it. Okay. What was the guy? It wasn't. What was the guy in Denver, you guys? He was awesome. Confident Chris, of course, as a Confident Chris. I see Cam being mentioned again. Denver J. Okay, good. Denver J. Of course, we had Aja. Once Scotty Swati McGillicuddy Hochstetter decided to be like, you know what I'm really here for? I'm here to call out the bad actors. I'm here to call out the bad actors, and I'm here to just ask questions. Once he started on his path to destruction, that was pretty much the beginning of the end of any sort of effective, coordinated, cohesive protest movement in LA. Are there still people who protest in LA? Sure, they do it here and there. Is it an actual group of people that work together? No, not really. Is it a people who are, building up something to be fun and inclusive? No, not really. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with what they're doing, but they're certainly not doing something that has the energy and the enthusiasm and the camaraderie of what we've built in Clearwater. No shade, it's just a fact. So basically, McGillicuddy started destroying everything. And then he started racking up misdemeanor charges, and then he started racking up felony charges, and then he just started on a whole rampage. Well, what happened lately? What happened? The most recent development in the saga of Scotty Swati McGillicuddy Hochstetter is he sent me a demand letter a couple days ago asking for $10,000. Asking for $10,000 or else he was going to sue me if I didn't give him $10,000 and delete every video I ever did where I said a variety of certain things. So yesterday, I did a response video to him, to his demand letter, responding to the absurdity of every single claim that he made. What did this ridiculous lunatic do? He goes live yesterday to respond to my response and inadvertently admits to everything I said. Inadvertently admits that, yeah, he did receive a big bag of something that might have been crystal meth, but he doesn't know. But yeah, he did taste it. He did take a big fat lick of whatever is in that bag. And he even admitted, yeah, it might have been crystal meth. I don't know. And you're like, dude, you're accusing me of defaming you by saying you accidentally took meth. And then in your own video, you're admitting you may have accidentally taken meth. And then he accuses me of defamation for saying that he was arrested on an incident when he was actually detained, apparently. I have no idea. And in his own video, he accidentally calls his own detainment an arrest. Okay. Now, of course, I instantly downloaded his entire video, which he very shortly after deleted. And it's like, God, this guy's such a lunatic, you guys. I can't wait until the Scotty Swati McGillicuddy Hochstetter chapter of the ex-Scientology movement is over and done with. Guys, I also said what is true, that one of the reasons Laura broke up with him is, according to her, he has quite literally, and if you've got children in the room, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to quickly cover their ears or turn your volume down, okay? Laura says that Scott has quite literally one of the smallest dicks she's ever seen on a human being. Hand to God. Hand to God. The guy's dick is so small, he pisses all over his balls when he's standing up. Hand to God. Hand to God. I'm not going to say that I saw video evidence of this because I didn't. And then in Scott's response video to me yesterday, he didn't even deny it. And he's like, yeah, no, I believe they're talking. By the way, Laura and I are not talking. But just the fact that I knew he's got a dick so small you can't even see it, he's like, yeah, I actually believe that they're talking. I have actually tried to reach out to Laura so many times over the last year to get back in touch with her, reopen a communication line, reestablish some, mutual affinity and respect with her. And she's totally ignored me and ghosted me every every single moment. So I have no idea what Laura's talking about when she acts like she just wants unity. She wants this, she wants that. She's out here apologizing to people she barely even knows, but she won't apologize to the people she knows the most and has hurt the most. Laura hasn't even tried to apologize to the people that Scott hurt the most. So, Laura, I don't know what your deal is, but when you're ready to get back in touch, you know how to fucking reach me. It's not like I haven't tried to reach you 10 fucking times. So, I guess that's my point of being like, I'm not in touch with Laura. I'm not in touch with Laura at all. Laura actually mentioned this in a video many months ago, and I've just been waiting for the right opportunity to bring it up. And, Scott seems to acknowledge Scott's basically like, damn, how did he know? I guess he is talking to Laura. No, I haven't talked to Laura since it's probably been over a year since you started wreaking your destruction, and Laura basically stood by you and endorsed all of it. But I guess we were all supposed to know that secretly behind the scenes, it was really hard for Laura to be able to have her boyfriend doing that to all of her friends. And we're supposed to feel really bad for Laura and how that made her feel. We're not supposed to worry about how it made us feel that she stood by this horribly destructive guy while he destroyed all of her friends in the entire community, or at least tried to. We're not supposed to worry about how that made us feel. We're supposed to worry about how hard that was for Laura. Yeah, really worried about how hard that was for you, Laura. So when you're ready to grow up and move on and talk to the people you're supposed to care about the most, you have my fucking phone number. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see. You know what? I said this was going to be a Q&A, and I haven't taken a single question. Let's see. Let's just look at some of the stuff. We have Michelle Nelson. Love the color scheme. Thank you, Michelle. And also thank you for being a channel member for 23 months. Hugely appreciate that. Trish Briggs. Mark Bunker is the GOAT. Good to see you, Trish. And thank you for being a channel member for 8 months. Let me see. What is this? Did you get to see? Okay. Martha says, did you get to see books stream regarding your stream? I don't know what that means, unfortunately. Renegan, Wise Beard Man supporters unite. Yes, we're gonna have so much fun helping Mark in this campaign. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Delicious cooking. Question: does Scientology own Scholastic worldwide? Primary school book ordering. If the name of the company is Scholastics Worldwide, then I'm going to say no. The Scientology entity is called Applied Scholastics, and that's the only entity of that type that they have, to the best of my knowledge. Let's see. Let me have some water, guys. Just awesome that Mark reminding Scientology, he's going to say it loud and often, it is a cult. Yes. Smile and be happy. Wow, what a video. Go, Mark. Old Frizz. Good luck to Bunker. Sickening how much money equals success in politics, though. Yes. Xenu Golf Club question. Tampa Brad videos next week. Xenu Golf Club, just for you. I'm going to commit to you right here, right now. You will get your long-awaited Tampa Brad reaction video this week. Okay. Laura Givens. Does anyone else see the crazy in David Miscavige's eyes in any picture that's shown? Absolutely. Okay. Oh, is Brooks Gibbs able to run against Latvala's wife? I mean, anyone's able to run for anything. I got to tell you, I would personally love to see Brooks run for city council. I do not wish that upon anybody. It's a thankless job. I believe Lena Teixeira, I believe that she feels it was a mistake to have run for city council. It was a mistake. It wasn't worth it. The juice was not worth the squeeze. The upset, the turmoil, the strife, the negativity that it invites into your life. It's almost like at this point, see, it used to be that Clearwater was just a tiny little town and most people ran for city council unopposed and it wasn't a big deal, but Clearwater is becoming more of a big deal. And, politically speaking and Scientology wise, it's becoming more relevant. And, so I don't wish it upon anyone. It's almost like we've come to a point where unless you have aspirations for higher office, and you're just trying to build out your resume, what's the point of running for city council in Clearwater? And so what am I saying? I would love for Brooks Gibbs to win. I think to run. I think if he ran for a seat, he would win. But also I have no reason to think that he would run. And I, of course, like I said, like I wouldn't wish it upon him. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like I would love for him to do it because I would love to help him and I think he would win, but I also wouldn't wish it upon him, if you know what I mean. So, I'm not expecting him to run. I don't think he has any interest in running, to the best of my knowledge, but I'm not speaking for him, you know. Okay, let's see. Diana Travels question. I finally went by the Dallas, Texas org a couple of nights ago. Very creepy place. Do you know how active the org is or how many Scientologists are in the area? Diana, thank you for the question and thank you for being a channel member. The thing is, strangely enough, almost all Scientology organizations, it's really funny how this works out. Almost all Scientology organizations have the same numbers of members and staff, no matter how big their building is. The only exception to this is when they open up a brand new building for an existing org. There's so much work that Scientology management puts into artificially beefing up and propping up the numbers of staff and public at those brand new buildings, that when a brand new building opens, for about the first year and a half, those numbers are artificially inflated, but then they quickly kind of revert to the mean. Generally speaking, it would be a safe estimate to say that if you have a major Scientology organization near you, generously, it's got about 30 staff members and 75 to 100 public. That's a generous estimate. You're going to be very hard pressed to find a Scientology organization outside of Los Angeles or Clearwater that has more staff members or more public than that. All right, let's see. Missy goes, Mark is not an unknown anymore. That's right. And not really an unknown, but an unknown quantity. Like, you know, people were like, you know, this guy, well, we don't and when I say unknown quantity, I mean, they have no idea what he's actually going to be like and what he's actually going to do and what he's actually going to stand for once he's on the council. People can say whatever they want when they're running, but what are you actually going to be like when you're there? And the fact that after Mark's first term, that when he was running for re-election, he was able to get the endorsement of the police union and the firefighters union is mind-blowing, unprecedented. Nobody would have ever guessed that. Mark would have never guessed that. And it just goes to show you that he stood up for the people of Clearwater. He stood up for the rights of normal citizens. He stood up for what the police and the firefighters felt was best for them. Do you guys know how scandalous, potentially scandalous that was in this town for the police union and the firefighters union to publicly endorse a candidate that is so staunchly anti-Scientology? I mean, we were all shocked, pleasantly shocked. So anyway, just to support your comment, definitely not an unknown quantity anymore. Francisco Suarez. Francisco. This time, Mark is winning for sure. 9 Lavender, Sam and the Colt sitting in a tree. KISSING. Mark says people can still file to run for the council. Okay, good. Let me see. MMP question: would you move to San Diego permanently when the kids are older? You know, it's so hard to speculate on what would happen permanently, because the truth is, no matter what happens, like Jenna's kids and family, Jenna's kids and her kid's father live in San Diego. My kids and my kid's mother live here in Clearwater. It actually kind of hurts my heart to imagine either of us permanently moving away from where our kids' home base is. What I would absolutely love is to have a world where, you know, we're both making enough money where we can sustainably afford to spend all of our time together and simply have it be 2 weeks a month in San Diego and 2 weeks a month in Clearwater. That's what would be the most fun, the most dynamic, the most engaging, allowed us to have our friend group in Clearwater, our friend group in California and Los Angeles, be able to do Scientology activism on both coasts simultaneously. That is the world I want. I want us to be able to basically have this bi-coastal life where it doesn't affect our kids negatively. And we're still with each other all the time, and it's not a long distance relationship. So that's what I want. I think that's what we would both want. Absolutely. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, Ginger snaps. I live in San Diego. I'll make sure to attend. Thank you, Aaron. Absolutely fantastic. Ren again. Can you use chalk tech at the test center? I don't know what the laws are in California and Hollywood about the use of chalk, so I'm not going to make any statements about that. But I think I can safely say, if it's legal, we will do it. You know what I mean? All right. All righty. Let's see. Northern girl. But Aaron, you'll be broke once Squatty sues you. Exactly right. It's a little weird to see Scott, who's obviously poor, spending so much of the money he's able to get from his viewers on frivolous lawsuits that have no chance of success. And it's weird. Actually, here's one of the other things this moron admitted in his video yesterday. He said, even if these lawsuits fail, I will at least force everyone to spend a lot of money hiring lawyers and fighting the lawsuits. And that's all I care about. It's like, dude, you literally just admitted you're just maliciously filing lawsuits. And you're also filing lawsuits against people for protected speech. So, you're basically putting yourself in a situation of spending money you don't have, you can't really afford to spend on lawsuits that you can. And first of all, I don't have to hire a lawyer to respond to your ridiculous, shitty, self-represented lawsuit. I can just represent myself. I can just anti-slap you. You can be held liable for damages for just maliciously filing lawsuits against people for just saying things that are protected by free speech. Like, you're kind of out of control. I don't know, Scott. It's almost like you're on an unhinged meth bender right now. I mean, at least, my God, Scott. I mean, your behavior. I mean, I'm no expert, Scott. I mean, I'm no toxicologist or anything over here, but your behavior sure looks like someone who's on an unrestrained, meth-fueled bender, Scott. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying that's what it looks like and sounds like. Allegedly, Scott. Anyway. Okay. Dark Stars, Torpedoes of Truth. Don't Scientology have the cops in their pocket in California as well? Thank you for the question, Dark Stars. Look, you would think so. That's what Scientology wants you to think. But what we're seeing play out in Los Angeles right now is Scientology has filed all these public records requests to the LAPD to dig up a whole bunch of information relating to Danny Masterson's victims about prior issues. And the LAPD is essentially saying, yeah, we either don't have those records, or we're not able to turn over those records, or we can't find any records. And right now, Scientology is essentially suing the LAPD. Many instances, like, forgive me, you guys got to fact check me on this, but is there 10 lawsuits? Is there 20 lawsuits? Is it 100 lawsuits? I shouldn't make any representations for something I'm not sure of. There is at least a handful of lawsuits right now filed against the city of Los Angeles and the LAPD by Scientology. Like, you guys want to talk about shooting yourself in the foot or turning friends into enemies. Like, the LAPD is supposed to be Scientology's friend. And yet, as soon as Scientology doesn't get what they want, they go after the LAPD and the city of Scientology ruthlessly, turning what might be friends into enemies. There's a whole bunch of exciting shit going down in LA right now between Scientology and the city and LAPD that if I was there, I'd be happy to cover it. But I don't know of anyone else that's effectively covering it right now. So, but that's my response to your question is, isn't the LAPD in Scientology's pocket? You would think so, but it doesn't look like that is as true as it has seemed in other instances. So there you go. Okay, let's see. Oh, Constance. Liz Gale had people send the money to her Cash Apps and PayPal. I wonder if that makes her a party to her husband's lawsuit. That's right. Liz literally herself promoted on her own YouTube channel, please send me $500 so that me and my husband can afford to file a lawsuit against Aaron in Clearwater. It's literal madness. It's literal madness. All right, let's see. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Only flowers and pretty things. More court? I thought we already won. It's a very good question. I'm glad you asked about this. I was charged separately for 2 separate instances of interactions with Scientology Sea Org members. One in late July, one in mid-September. The one in late July was at a Scientology protest. The one in mid-September had nothing to do with the Scientology protest. It had to do with me going to Scientology's Public Information Center and trying to advocate for Flavio Lugli's parents in Italy, who have not been able to speak to their 6th son in 15 years. So 2 separate charges for 2 separate incidents with 2 separate Sea Org members. The first charge is the one that I went to trial for on March 3rd and was found not guilty. The second charge I have trial for on April 14th. I will also be found not guilty. Knock on wood. Thank you for asking the question. Let's see. Oh, Francisco. Thank you for gifting 5 channel memberships, my friend. I love it. Thank you very much. Ooh, Cammed Up Caveman. Good to see you, Cammed Up Caveman. Weren't you at the trial, Cammed Up? Were you at the trial on March 3rd? Who was the lady that was live streaming outside the courtroom? I got the trial audio and they accused me and the judge. Oh, they accused me and the judge called me a sovereign. You know, Cammed Up Caveman, this is really funny. When we went after the Cracker Barrel incident, okay, the answer to your question is, see, the reason I don't want to answer your question is because I don't want to give that person any promotion on my channel. If you email me, I will tell you who it was. Email me, growingupinscientology@gmail.com. I will tell you her YouTube name and I will tell you her name in real life. After the incident at the Cracker Barrel, when we all came back from lunch, the judge called me and my lawyers and the prosecution into the courtroom. Nobody else was there. And she informed us that someone had called the sheriff's deputies in the courthouse to report an incident of this so-called journalist harassing and intimidating a witness in the trial. I'm sorry, a witness? No, a juror. Now, this is where you get a problem of a misunderstanding, compounding one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, okay? So literally, the judge calls us into the chambers and says, the sheriff's deputies at the courthouse has received an anonymous phone call of an incident where a so-called journalist has apparently confronted and intimidated a juror in this case. Now, of course, this was a misunderstanding. That's not what occurred at all. But when you have the internet's #1 nutcase interfering in everyone's business, she gets everything wrong all the time. And she's not a good communicator. So even when she called to try to report something, they misunderstood it and they thought something else. So here's what happened, Cammed Up Caveman. I knew that what they were referring to was this incident at the Cracker Barrel. But the prosecutors didn't know that. I also knew that there had been complaints. My lawyers then stood up and said, yes, there's a woman in the hallway who's harassing and intimidating people and sticking her camera in people's faces. My lawyers were talking about that crazy lady that you're referring to right now, but the prosecutors didn't know that, okay? The judge already had a preconceived idea of who would have been in the hallway because the judge has dealt with other protesters and some other streamers and some other sovereign citizens. Everyone in the courtroom at that moment was completely misunderstanding each other and speaking past each other. The judge decided that she knew who was in the hallway creating trouble, and she decided it was a sovereign citizen. She had no idea. You see what I'm saying? Everybody was misunderstanding each other. It was really this crazy lady that was there, who's just a crazy lady. She's on the fringes of the ex-Scientology YouTube community. She's a fucking nobody. She's never been assigned. She means nothing to nobody. She's just one of these hangers-on that goes and creates trouble and stirs shit up. But the judge didn't know that. The prosecutors didn't know that. My lawyers knew that. But none of this rose to a level in the courtroom of being important enough for everyone to make sure everyone knew what each other was talking about. Once the judge realized that it was actually a witness who was being messed with and not a juror, she no longer cared and everybody moved on. But send me an email, Kim, that came in, and I'll tell you exactly who it was. Okay. Abuela, SPTV supporter. You and Jenna have my full support. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. And thank you for being a channel member for 10 months. Izzy B. Angel, don't forget to like. Thank you so much, Izzy B. And great to see you. Abigail gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Abigail. I really appreciate that. And we missed you like crazy at the protest yesterday. And we look forward to having you back next week. Christy Wagstaff became a channel member. Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate it. And Jen Kessler gifted 10 channel memberships. Thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate that. Guys, we might have cracked the case on why I have been totally unable to figure out how to gift the 10 free channel memberships a month the way other creators seem to be able to do. It is possible. There's something called a branded channel. And I think Marilyn said to me, Aaron, if your channel is a branded channel, you're not able to actually gift free memberships. Now, it's been so long since I created my channel. I have no idea if I'm a branded channel. I've got to go ask Grok how to figure out if I'm a branded channel. But it just might be the case that I am unable to gift 10 free memberships a month like everyone else seems to be able to do. I'll know soon enough. It's driving me absolutely crazy. Let's see. What else? I guess that's it for now, you guys. I think I discussed everything I was hoping to discuss. Yeah, why don't we leave it at that? It's Saturday evening. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hope this has been fun. Stay tuned for the members only video about responding to Liz Gale's malicious, unnecessary, ridiculous lawsuit. Members only coming at you Monday. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right